I am ready to stitch out my design. For the first part, we're going to use the 4.5 inch, 1 inch diamond from the Jewel collection. So what I want you to notice is these reference lines here. There's one in the middle, and then there's one on each side. The ones on each side correspond to the point of the diamond. These reference lines correspond to these ones down here as well. So when I go around, I can use these lines to line up on my reference lines, and I don't have to rotate my fabric if I don't want to. Also pay attention, when these lines come down, they go down to this hole here, not this one. This hole here corresponds to the other side of the template, and we're going to use this side. So I'm going to turn my sewing machine light back on. I can see now, and we are going to get going. For this, I am going to stitch every other line. If you want to, you could put little marks every other line. We are going to use them a lot. So I want this reference line here on the reference line where the diamond is going to be. And I'm going to pull my threads where I am closest to me, because we're going to do an outside ring. With these templates, you can either do a ring on the outside or a ring on the inside, and that's with the diamond and the pearls, but not with the hearts. So for this one, we're going to do the ring on the outside. That's what I call it. I'm going to pull my thread, and I like to sneak my threads underneath the template. For a little extra security. Line up, and when you get to this section right here, you want to make sure you take an extra stitch. Otherwise, you end up with a rounded diamond and not a perfect point. And you want your points to be pointy. I'm going to rotate to the left. I want to make sure that my stitches cross over, and that's why I started on the left side. If I had started on the right side and then done this, they might not meet up. So let's, again, a little pause, extra stitch. Now I stop somewhere near this reference line. It doesn't have to be right on it for this way to do the design, but somewhere near it. Then I rotate the template, again, the center of the diamond on the reference line. So I made a diamond on this one, I skipped this one, and I'm making one on that. So I'm going to stitch over, and then towards the center, rotate the template. Rotate the template. And I'm going to keep going until I get back to where I started. I am coming up near the end. And now I will go to where I started and pull my threads. That's a little more thread than I need. I do want to show you a little mistake I made, because then you won't make the same one. Where is it? This one over here. So let's rotate the template over here and see what happened. On this one, when I turned, I used the part of the puzzle piece here. Let me move it so you can see it. I used the puzzle piece as the reference line and not the reference line. So where the puzzle piece meets. And that's how I ended up with a flat diamond top. So don't do that. And we will bury the threads, but here is what it looks like so far. And we'll bury these and we'll do the next section. For this next part of the design, we are going to use the 7.5 1-inch pearls. Again, reference line in the middle, but also to either side. And these are the reference lines I'm going to use. I'm going to combine inside and outside rings. So remember I told you you can do either an inside or an outside ring with the diamonds and the pearls. So for this one, we are going to do a combination. When I do this, I am going to have to stitch one side of the pearl twice, going all the way around. And I want to make sure that it's always the same side. So I'm going to do this side double stitched. I'm going to start here. I'm going to stitch to the inside. I'm going to rotate the template. I'm going to stitch to the outside and go back to the inside. Now when I do this, I actually pull my thread a little bit to the right side of this reference line. And when I come back and meet it, then I don't have my threads on top of each other. So pull my threads. And on this template, you don't have as noticeable of a stopping point, so you have to stop on the reference line. On the diamonds, and also with the hearts, there's a definite stop, but not with the pearls. Stop on the reference line, rotate the template, reference line here. Oh look, I pulled my threads on the line, not like I told you. I'm going to stitch around. When I get to the line, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to go back to along the template. I'm going to keep going. Just like the diamonds, I kind of stop around the middle And now my next purl is going to be the next, every other line, just like I did the diamonds and in the same positions. Now I'm going to come up here, stop, rotate the template, lining up the reference line, complete the purl, and backtrack. Keep going. Rotate the template so that you're skipping a line. I don't want to purl on this one. Stop. Complete the purl. Go back down. So as you can see, here we have it on the outside and here's the ring on the inside. And we're going to keep alternating that all the way around. I am coming close to the end here. And double stitch on this side. This design actually came to be because I made a mistake when playing with the templates. So never be afraid to make mistakes. That's how really fun designs come to be. I always call them personal design variations. And double this one. Now, even though I didn't do it, remember I said I like to start out a little bit here, and that's so I can cross those stitches a little bit and not have to bury everything in the same hole. So I'm just going to do that anyway. Once I meet there, I'm going to take just a stitch past where these were pulled. Sometimes I think it's easier to pull stitches that way, or to bury that way. So here it is. And you can see the ring alternates between inside and outside. Now bury these threads and we will start on the next section. For the third round, we're going to use the 8.5 inch diamond, and this time we're going to go every one. So follow this line here. My finger out of your way. Follow the line. It's that pinhole. This was also a mistake. So I am going to make a diamond sort of on every line. So it doesn't really matter where you start, and the ring's going to be to the outside. So let's start with a diamond here on this one. Ring's going to be on the outside, so I can start just a couple of stitches over, and then I'll show you what I mean later about crossing that. Remember to make those points definite by taking an extra stitch. Now remember, I want one on every line, but when I get here, my pearls are in the way. So I'm not going to be able to make a complete diamond. So I'm just going to stop when the template stops. And for most of these, you're going to hit this outer ring, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to rotate my template, lining it up. I'm going to stitch until it stops, and I'm going to come back. Then at this point, I can move my template and line up my next diamond on the very next line. Remember, this one we're doing every line. Stitch down, come back, stitch down, put the template on the line here. So I'm going to make 3 of these partial diamonds. And then I'm going to make a full one because there's an opening here that allows me to make a complete diamond. I'm just going to complete this, doing the half diamonds, and then where I can, I'll do the full one. And then, so maybe you can see it here better. I'm able to go beyond this by 1 stitch and pull so that I'm not burying both my beginning and ending threads in the exact same spot. It's very useful when you're doing Spinifex designs where you have a lot of threads starting and stopping in the same place. So there we go. See? And just the places where you can is where the extra diamond goes, the full diamond. We have 1 more round to do and we will be done with the design. For the last section, we're going to use the 11.5 inch, oops, let me make sure you can see it, the 11.5 inch heart. Now, this is going to work a little differently because you have to stitch both sides of the heart twice. The other thing I want to point out, because we are using this 6-point reference crosshair square and not the 8-point, this line in the middle here is not where your heart's going to be. And if you look, if you did it that way, you're not going to get a heart on the line. And I want a heart on every line. So again, there's where I'm going to use these reference lines. And I think that's why I like to use those reference lines when I'm working with these templates. Again, the heart, no choice. The ring always has to be on the outside. And because you want to double stitch, you want consistent double stitches all the way around, I'm going to start on the outside. Pulled our threads. We are going to stitch and we're going to come back. Rotate the template. Finish the heart. And come back. And now this next heart, I want to be on the very next line. So I'm putting the template reference line right on my reference line on my sandwich. So much easier to backtrack when you have a template to do so and not freehand. So on this, it goes really quickly because you stitch one side of the heart, move the template, stitch the other side of the heart, move the template, go to the next section, stitch one side of the heart, move the template, stitch the other side. There is the design. And make sure that you don't take your pin out yet, because you're going to want to see that pinhole for when you put it on your table to encase the pillow. So there is our design. Let's see if that light helps a little bit. Have fun!